anime lovers, in today's top 10 anime content we're counting down the top anime where the main character considered talentless but turns out overpowered. If you are new to this channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more anime content. So without further ado, let's get started. Magano, a parallel realm filled with monsters known as Kegger, is a place where exorcists deal with all impurities. Bino Adashino is a prodigy exorcist who is recognized for her strength and is summoned to Tokyo by the Exorcist Union. On her way, she plummets into the arms of Rakuro Enmadu, a young exorcist with a troubled past. But the impurities of Magano do not rest. When these two exorcists witness a couple of children stolen by a Kegger, Bino rushes to save them, dragging Rakuro along with her into Magano. Engaged in a fight she is on the verge of being defeated in, Bino is saved by Rakuro, revealing himself capable of being her rival in talent. Sausei no Onmyaoji tells the story of two talented exorcists who are destined to become the twin-star exorcists and the prophesized parents of the Maiko, the reincarnation of Abe, no Seimei, who will cleanse the world of all impurities. Ichiro Suzuki, a programmer nearing his 30s, is drowning in work. Worn out, he eventually has a chance to catch up on sleep, only to wake up and discover himself in a fantasy RPG world, which is mashed together from the games he was debugging in reality. In this new place, he realizes that not only has his appearance changed to a younger version of himself, but his name has also changed to Satu, a nickname he used while running beta tests on games. However, before Satu can fully grasp his situation, an army of lizardmen launch an assault on him. Forced to cast a powerful spell in retaliation, Satu wipes them out completely, and his level is boosted to 310, effectively maximizing his stats. Now, as a high-leveled adventurer armed with a plethora of skills and no way to return to reality, Satu sets out to explore this magical new world. On the surface, Kyoto Ikusei Senior High School is a utopia. The students enjoy an unparalleled amount of freedom, and it is ranked highly in Japan. However, the reality is less than ideal. 4 classes, A through D, are ranked in order of merit, and only the top classes receive favorable treatment. Kiyotaka Ayana Kauji is a student of Class D, where the school dumps its worst. There he meets the unsociable Suzune Horikita, who believes she was placed in Class D by mistake and desires to climb all the way to Class A, and the seemingly amicable class idol Kikyu Kishida, whose aim is to make as many friends as possible. While class membership is permanent, class rankings are not. Students in lower-ranked classes can rise in rankings if they score better than those in the top ones. Additionally, in Class D, there are no bars on what methods can be used to get ahead. In this cutthroat school, can they prevail against the odds and reach the top? Humans and demons are two sides of the same coin, as are Asaya and Gehenna, their respective worlds. The only way to travel between the realms is by the means of possession, like in ghost stories. However, Satan, the ruler of Gehenna, cannot find a suitable host to possess and therefore remains imprisoned in his world. In a desperate attempt to conquer Asaya, he sends his son instead, intending for him to eventually grow into a vessel capable of possession by the Demon King. Aono Exorcist follows Rin Okumura, who appears to be an ordinary, somewhat troublesome teenager, that is until one day he is ambushed by demons. His world turns upside down when he discovers that he is in fact the very son of Satan, and that his demon father wishes for him to return so they can conquer Asaya together. Not wanting to join the king of Gehenna, Rin decides to begin training to become an exorcist so that he can fight to defend Asaya alongside his brother Yukio. Katsuhira Agata is a quiet and reserved teenage boy whose sense of pain has all but vanished. His friend, Chidori Takashiro, can only faintly remember the days before Katsuhira had undergone this profound change. Now, his muffled and complacent demeanor make Katsuhira a constant target for bullies who exploit him for egregious sums of money. But their fists only just manage to make him blink, as even emotions are far from his grasp. However, one day Katsuhira, Chidori, and 4 other teenagers are abducted and forced to join the Kizuna system as official KIZNAIVERs. Those taking part are connected through pain. If one member is injured, the others will feel an equal amount of agony. These individuals must become the lab rats and scapegoats of an incomplete system designed with world peace in mind. With their fates literally intertwined, the KIZNAIVERs must expose their true selves to each other or risk failing much more than just a Kizuna system.
I fell where my demons dwell, my only little nightmare.
MUHAI is a school populated entirely by delinquents, where non-stop violence and lawlessness are the norm. However, there is one universally acknowledged rule: don't cross first-year student Tatsumi Oga, Ishiyama's most vicious fighter. One day, Oga is by a riverbed when he encounters a man floating down the river. After being retrieved by Oga, the man splits down the middle to reveal a baby, which crawls onto Oga's back and immediately forms an attachment to him. Though he doesn't know it yet, this baby is named Kaiser de Emperana BEELZEBUB IV, or Baby Beel for short, the son of the demon lord. As if finding the future lord of the underworld isn't enough, Oga is also confronted by Hildegard, Beel's demon mate. Together they attempt to raise baby Beel, although surrounded by juvenile delinquents and demonic powers, the two of them may be in for more of a challenge than they can imagine. Lux, a former prince of an empire named Arcadia that was overthrown via a rebellion 5 years earlier, accidentally trespasses in a female dormitory's bathing area, sees the kingdom's new princess Lysishirt naked, incurring her wrath. Lysishirt then challenges Lux to a drag ride duel. Drag rides are ancient armored mechanical weapons that have been excavated from ruins all around the world. Lux used to be called the strongest drag knight, but now he's known as the undefeated weakest drag knight because he will absolutely not attack in battle. After his duel with Lysishirt, Lux ends up attending the female-only academy that trains royals to be drag knights. Within one's book of fate is their destiny. Written by the mysterious storytellers, these books decide every small detail of one's life. Some storytellers, however, choose to interfere with the stories of others rather than write their own. These malevolent beings are known as chaos tellers, who seek to ruin stories by overwriting the books of fate. X, Reina, Tao, and Shane were born with blank books. Ostracized by society due to this abnormality, they abandon their respective stories in search of better lives. In the vast unknown, they encounter famous fairy tale characters such as Cinderella, Mamoru, and Snow White. All the while, they work to subdue the chaos tellers and return peace and order to the stories. Ever since the death of his father, the burden of supporting the family has fallen upon Tanjiro Kamato's shoulders. Though living impoverished on a remote mountain, the Kamato family are able to enjoy a relatively peaceful and happy life. One day, Tanjiro decides to go down to the local village to make a little money selling charcoal. On his way back, night falls, forcing Tanjiro to take shelter in the house of a strange man, who warns him of the existence of flesh-eating demons that lurk in the woods at night. When he finally arrives back home the next day, he is met with a horrifying sight: his whole family has been slaughtered. Worse still, the sole survivor is his sister Nezuko, who has been turned into a bloodthirsty demon. Consumed by rage and hatred, Tanjiro swears to avenge his family and stay by his only remaining sibling. Alongside the mysterious group calling themselves the Demon Slayer Corps, Tanjiro will do whatever it takes to slay the demons and protect the remnants of his beloved sister's humanity. The ordinary life of 17-year-old Otaku Hajime Nagumo is disrupted when he and his classmates are summoned to a fantasy world and tasked with saving mankind. While his classmates are gifted with impressive abilities useful in combat, Hajime is belittled for only gaining an inferior transmutation skill that lacks any real offensive power. During an expedition in the Great Orcus Labyrinth, Hajime is betrayed by one of his classmates, plummeting him to the bottom of an abyss. Though he survives the fall, Hajime is faced with menacing monsters and misfortunes that send him spiraling into a grim nightmare. Desperate to live and return home one day, he resolves to fight for his survival, only to meet an imprisoned vampire he names Yu, who is also seeking to escape the labyrinth. Taking an interest in him, Yu and a few others along the way accompany Hajime on his journey to find a way back home, while steadily transforming from commonplace to the world's strongest.